I call the Washington County Board of Education meeting to order. I'd like to welcome, got a good looking group out there I see tonight. Appreciate everyone showing up. We have Miss Allie Johnson here from Daniel Boone. She's our student board member. I've asked her to lead us in pledge, and Mr. Walters will lead us in prayer. We can all stand, please.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the sunshine outside, God. We just thank you for being a small part of the creation that you created, Lord. And we just ask you to go with us tonight, bless us, and keep us free from sickness and harm, Lord, as we make decisions tonight that affect our area and our students and teachers and parents and us. Lord, we just ask for your knowledge and wisdom. Go with us in our decisions and help us to make the best ones possible. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you all. Okay, first if I can get a motion for consideration of meeting agenda, please.
Make that motion. Second.
Discussion. Let's vote, please, Jennifer. Thank you. And we got a special thing tonight from our Westview Elementary students. If y'all want to.
We'll call up Dr. Street and she can introduce her team and the students.
Sounds great.
Look forward to the presentation.
Thank you guys for having us tonight. We're very excited to be here. I'm going to turn it over to the teachers that are responsible for this. I really had nothing to do with what they're doing tonight. It's all the teachers' hard work and the students' hard work. So I have Mr. Allen, who is our STEM teacher, and Jordan Moats, who is a 4th grade math teacher in math and science, and then Terry Thompson, who is also 3rd grade math and science. So I'll turn it over to them.
So again, I'm Mr. Brennan Allen. I teach the CTE and STEM class over there at Westview, and we have prepared some awesome stuff. Our students are going to talk about the STEM culture that's been growing, and then we also have a great presentation on the instructional focus document that our students use.
So we're going to go ahead and bring up our 3rd grade math students who are just going to talk about how they use the instructional focus document in the classroom every day.
Hi, my name is Sharon. I'm a 3rd grade student and I'm also a STEM.
Hi, my name is Olivia and I'm on the Student Advisory Board.
Hello, my name is Grayson and I'm a level 4 math expert.
Hello, my name is Kennedy and I think I'm stuck. The thing is, I just had my turn. You do the first slide. Okay. And the slide isn't even pulled up. The slide is
Advance the slide.
Yeah.
Kingfisher, advance the slide. He's working on it. Okay. Is that it?
Please, we use the instructional focus document in our class. First, we break apart the standard, then we track our growth, then we incorporate math text and productive struggle aligned to the instructional focus document to master 3rd grade skills. We changed it. Breaking apart the standard. We begin each new standard by breaking the standard down. We look at the major main target for the standard. Our big question, we look for level 4 verbs. Our big question is, what do I need to do at a level 4 to master this standard? That's the standard we're working on, and we have level 1 below, level 2 approaching, level 3 on track, and level 4 is mastery. And here are the words for level 1 through 4. Choose, restate, find, restate example, create, explain, explain. And here is an example of our self-reflection. I think I am a level 3 because I can write a division equation as an unknown factor equation, solve the equation, but struggle explaining the relationship.
We rate our learning by identifying what level we are on and why. We look for strengths and weaknesses. As learners, we also recognize why we have not achieved mastery, so we know exactly what we need to work on in order to achieve mastery.
So this is our data binder on our case map progress. You can see on case 1, this person made a 90, and on case 2, they made a 94. They're a level 4, and their goal was a 90. And on the second page of our data binder is where we recognize our weaknesses. Their weakness is 308B5. And over here on the other page of our data binder is where we track our progress.
Math tasks and productive struggle. Our math tasks always invite productive struggle and are always created aim toward level 4 mastery of the standard. Because our math tasks encourage struggle, we use the engineering and design process to think through our task. As we reflect using the instructional focus document, we become experts on what the standards are asking us, and we can fine-tune our skills. We can become peer coaches for our classmates and provide academic feedback to help our classmates.
As you can see, it's showing our level 4 and level 3 verbs. And it's also showing our instructional focus document. And you can see what you need to do to be a level 3 and what you need to do to be a level 4. And there's also the engineering and design process. And at the top is an example of our self-assessment. And down there, nearby what they wrote, they explained how they got their answer. And on the other paper, it's showing how somebody takes our work and what they rate our work.
Awesome. Good.
Up next, we're going to bring up some of our STEM officers, and they're going to talk about the culture and things like that. So, click on the next slide for us.
Hi, I'm Parker.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're going to talk about the STEM culture at Westview Elementary School. So at Westview Elementary School, we love our CTE STEM class.
We also have monthly STEM challenges.
We have improved in our STEM and technology.
Our favorites include robotics, interactive floor, and 3D printing.
We strive to get our peers more interested in STEM.
I'm the 4th grade math and science teacher at Westview Elementary School, and we had the privilege of receiving a $2,500 STEM grant this year from TVA partnering with Bright Ridge. And so we decided to take that money and put it towards some opportunities that students may not otherwise have. So we're going to do career backpacks, and we've received all these materials. We've partnered with community partners to make these backpacks possible, and they're going to be sent home with all of our students in grades kindergarten through 8th grade so they can explore these careers at home outside of the school. So we've got some 4th grade students that are going to come out and kind of talk about a couple of the different backpacks.
Hi, my name is Levi.
Hello, my name is Evelette, and today we will be talking about the career backpacks.
Career backpacks help us experiment with STEM and different careers outside of school.
backpacks help us experience different type of careers so we can better decide when we're older.
I picked the paleontology backpack to talk about. It comes with fossils, sand, and different stuff to experiment about.
I picked the civil engineer backpack because it's about engineering, and this helps us like imagine how you can like make a roller coaster or like a racetrack.
So up next, we've got a couple of students who are going to talk about some of our monthly STEM challenges. We've got examples of them up here, so I'll have those STEM officers come up here.
Hello, my name is Sophie Tolley.
And I'm Temperance Markin. And we are STEM officers.
Today, we're going to be talking about the monthly STEM challenge.
The monthly STEM challenges allow us to use and learn the engineering design process while having fun at home.
As you can see, we also have a rubric. On the rubric, there are 3 different levels of difficulty. The first level is the easiest, and the third level is the most complex. On that, we also have a place to draw your plan, a place to show what improvements you made along the way, and usually a question that's associated with the STEM challenge that we're doing that month. I made a Tom and Jerry float up there. I'm the one in the ETSU shirt, and I made it out of paper mache, the engineering design process, and lots of hot glue.
Thank you.
So finally, up next, we'll have some of our STEM officers, and they'll be talking about my CTE STEM extension class. We have them working on the Tennessee State Design Challenge, and they're competing on the local level and then eventually the regional level to compete to solve the energy problem going on. So I'll have those students come up now.
My State Design Challenge is about the grate system, which is we're putting like turbines inside of grates so that the running water makes electricity to power street lights and other local businesses that are next to the road.
Our invention is called EGG. EGG stands for Energy Generating Gutters. It's a gutter that has turbines in it, so when it rains and your power goes out, as the turbines spin, it generates energy, and that energy goes through a battery, which powers the house.
Our team designed a turbine system that can go into chimneys and factories, that when the smoke or steam is produced out of them, it'll turn them, and that will go into extra energy. So say the factory ran out of power, the backup generator has that energy to help it, and another factory that's neighboring, it goes out, that energy can be used for it later on.
Awesome. Good job. Good job, guys.
So that ends our Westview's presentation. If you all have any questions, we can answer them.
You have a lot of enthusiasm, and I think it's rubbing off on the students.
Oh, I appreciate it, but it's not me, it's the kids. They're putting in all the hard work.
You're guiding them to that. So
I try my best. We try to build that, foster a love for learning and that guided inquiry kind of mindset. So I appreciate it.
Great job. Good job. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is public comment, which there is none. We'll give him time to move. We'll get those.
So of course you're all welcome to stay for the extra meetings. Maybe take a few minutes to exit if you want. She's our elementary middle school teacher of the year.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Mose. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's our district teacher.
Face looking familiar, but I just didn't.
Very
I remember
She was very
She was very nervous.
Good for him to get him.
When they start them out early, she's going all out.
I think it's good.
Yeah, oh boy, they know that.
Yeah, they do a great job of
Yeah.
focusing on the task and what's required.
So just use the Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, with us tonight's Paul and Ginger for the Lewis Group. They'll give us some updates, and we appreciate you coming back to our monthly meeting.
Oh, you better watch out, we're gonna replace you with that one civil engineer there.
I see that.
We thought they were good for us. I'm gonna let Ginger do both of this and just chime in as necessary. That's.
Sure. Do we want to go ahead and start with security upgrades? I think that'll be it. So we put security, Sulphur Springs specifically, elementary, out for bid, and we had the bid opening earlier today. So we had 2 bidders that came in. One was Holman Construction and the other one was Skill Services. The 2 bids that we got, one was, and I have those numbers here.
The Skill Service is one that bidded it.
That bid the all 11 of
Yeah,
them
right,
before,
okay.
right, yeah.
Where did I put my numbers?
Oh, yeah.
Right here. So the first one was Skill Services came to $249,500 for the base bid. So $249,500. And Holman Construction came to $263,735. They both had alternate door hardwares. Holman's came to $1,526.
For an ad.
Yeah, it's an alternate for the door hardware. That's the only alternate we had on this one. And Skill Services came to $12,200. The days, contract days for each one, Holman came to 150 days, and Skill Services is 120 days. So a little less. The numbers came pretty close, and they weren't too different from the initial bid.
I'll just say, I will jump in here.
Sure.
That's the thing that has us a little bit perplexed, you know, and we had a discussion about it after the bid opening that, you know, I really thought if we isolated this one out and maybe got the right size contractor or whatever, that we would see better numbers, but, you know, that it's tracking along pretty close to the breakdown that we got from the last time. I mean, that's.
And just so that you know, we did make changes to the floor plan. We did change the masonry wall to be a storefront, and there was one door that we decided instead of redoing an opening, we were going to use an existing opening. So there were a few things that we tried to do to sort of make the scope of the work a bit smaller or a bit simpler.
Yeah, cleaner.
Yeah.
So, you know, honestly, I think that's, you know, we got a bid. That's not great news, I think, just because of what we were all hoping, where we would hoped it would be. Honestly, you know, I don't want to, I told Mr. Boyd earlier, you know, I don't want to feel like, I don't know, that we're giving you guys bad sort of guidance or whatever, but
right.
there's obviously something, you know, I'm missing, we're missing. I think even Philip Patrick, he was here today too, you know, and he said, I'm surprised it was over 100,000, but you know, there may be just something we're all missing. So I'm not throwing rocks at anybody. I'm not saying that, you know, I think one thing you can say is if we got 2 bids and they're that close,
very close,
then there could be something to that. But you know, there may be more to the story. You know, we got some feedback before. Remember, we talked about this last time about electrical bids being a really high part of that. You know, I mean, if we did go and, you know, negotiate with one of these contractors, you know, and we could certainly ask for a schedule of values, then maybe we could start figuring that out. And who knows? I mean, I don't know. There might be an avenue to save some money, some more money. I don't know. Maybe there's some certain things that relative to the fire alarm system and the electrical interface with that, that some of the feedback that we'd gotten before that maybe could be simple, maybe it just needs to be clarified, you know, but I don't know yet. But
And Paul, wasn't we just putting up one wall with the doors and then putting the door to the left when you walk in?
Yeah.
And to the right, we're putting
But to the right's an existing door already, correct?
It's an existing opening, so we're putting a storefront in the existing opening.
So, right, I mean, and that's kind of what we
just-
talked about before. I mean, the scope of it is not huge. Now you know, there's a little mechanical because you got to, you know, pull off and dump air into that vestibule. You know, there's some electrical, there's some ceiling. So there's other things attached to that, but you're right. I mean, by and large, that's kind of what we're doing, that with the security film.
That's what
Right, the security film, and we reduced it a bit so that it's more concentrated on that vestibule. So I think these are just how the numbers are coming out. And yeah, they're very close, and even in the contract days, they're very close. So at this point, I don't know if we want to discuss negotiating with them or looking at a schedule of values from them, or where we go from here.
Well, you know, when you add the owner's preferred hardware into that, which was the ad alternate.
It comes about the same.
I mean, it's about the same. I mean, I think what we say, Mr. Hale was.
Right.
$3,000 difference.
Yeah.
3,000 or so. I mean, it's really, really close. So, you know, I think you could, if you did decide to select one, you know, we could deem one lowest and best, and then we, you know, get information back from them and negotiate a little bit. I mean, it's so simple in scope. I mean, there's, you know, there's not a lot of horse to trade here. You know, if you're horse trading, right? So.
I don't know. I mean, it is to us, as you already stated, it seems to be higher than what we anticipated, but we have two bids that are fairly close from two different contractors.
Right.
And one's local and one is not.
Right. And as we noted, the two subcontractors that were listed for electrical and mechanical are the same ones. So maybe that's a big thing that's driving it, right? Because it's not that we didn't have at least a little competition amongst the general contractors, but maybe there wasn't a lot of competition and they knew that amongst the subs. I mean, and again, that goes back to, I'm just speculating, trying to help sort of understand it, because I'm like you guys, I'm obviously perplexed as to, you know, what's really driving the cost up.
Any ideas from the board?
What do you think, Whit?
I don't recommend myself that we move forward with those pricing. I think it's probably twice what it should be. In good conscience, I don't think I could go with that myself. I just think we need to maybe table it and study a little more on it.
Can we kick it back to the workshop to where the bid will still be good for 30 days, I guess, isn't it, or is it?
We do have a number of days.
I mean, I think we can get them to hold, and we could even confirm that. That's something we can confirm with both, if they'll hold their numbers for 30 days. I mean, this day and age, I mean, that might be a bit much, but that's pretty typical, right? So
I think if we kick it back to the workshop and discuss it more and see what we want to do going forward.
Any more thoughts? Keith?
I'm thinking back to the workshop and let's talk about it some more. I mean, that's what I feel.
Okay.
It is an agenda item later in the agenda. It's an action item. I mean, you all can choose if you would like to make the motion now.
Can I make a motion that we table it then? And we go back to the workshop and talk about it?
You want to postpone it rather than table it?
Either one, but I want to talk about it some more.
Okay. We got a motion, we have a second? Discussion. Let's vote, Jennifer, please.
Can you all Skype in or Zoom in on that meeting when we do
talk on it, and you wouldn't have to come back in specifically.
27.
27th? Yeah.
And we can share the screen with some drawings, that way we can discuss and answer any questions you might have. Because it may be a little bit different too from the last iteration, because a few things have changed.
Okay.
But the contractors were involved in the pre-bid meeting. We went and visited the site, actually looked at things and talked about, discussed what we could change and what we couldn't, so, yeah, that would be helpful.
We'll at least do that, and if possible, because we're trying to work these things out, right? Because we've been doing stuff up here all day today, right? So we went to Boone, we went to Crockett, we did site visits, we'll report on those, everything's great there. But if we can make that coincide with that, then we might just, but I think we also talked about the board meeting was what, this
March 7th.
March 7th, right?
Yeah.
So, maybe one or the other or whatever, right? But I mean,
Yeah, if you come to the workshop, maybe just update us then and not come to the board meeting, or
That may
vice
be-
versa or something.
Yeah.
Because on that note, we also do have on security, we do have another contractor looking at both high schools. It's a different one that we reached out to. We've been having some issues having somebody having the time to look at them. So we reached out to someone, that was a week ago, and they told us 2 weeks. So by next week, we should have some numbers from them. And if we come in the workshop, we'll update you on those numbers. And
For Boone and
Crockett.
For Boone and Crockett.
Yeah, for the 2 high schools, and we have already a number on that from the first bid, so we can compare and see.
Where you.
Right, and that will help us a little bit on figuring out these numbers and seeing how doable it is and what we need to be doing or looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like motion carried, so if we, Jennifer, will just add that to our workshop agenda, please, for the 27th.
Mike?
Yes.
Second question. You say you have a contractor that you reached out to that's coming to look at Crockett and Boone?
We gave them
They've got all the drawings.
Yes.
Okay.
From the initial one.
For the security.
I just wondered if they could look at the Sulphur Springs.
I sent it to them, but I think they're a pretty big contractor and they had a lot going on and
It's Merritt in Knoxville, right? So it was we tried to get Burwell and they were happy to do it, but just said, there's a couple big sub numbers that they just couldn't get. So again, that may support the earlier argument, right, of subs are still really busy. See, what we're kind of seeing is general contractors are getting a little hungrier right now, but the subs are still really, really busy. So I think, until they're starting to get a little hungry, I think we're going to probably continue to see these numbers be high.
And I guess
That's
Preston
all I
had
can
no
think.
interest in it.
What's that?
Preston, didn't hear nothing from
I
them.
sent it to them and they tried looking at it, and when I reached back out, they said they weren't interested at this time. And I also reached out to Casey Construction and they weren't interested at this time. So, but they did say to keep them posted on other projects, and it might be that, I don't know the reason. And just to note on the consultants, Skill Services is self-performing with consultants. And then for Holman, it was 2 local consultants.
The subs.
Yeah.
Electrical. So, yeah.
And we can ask a question about holding the bid and how long for, and that way it would probably be better to shoot for a workshop so that we have more time and make decisions on that.
We'll reach out to them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Make sure they'll hold their bids that long.
All right. I guess you're going to update us on the athletics.
Yeah.
We did go over there to both sites today. We took some pictures of some construction observation, met with Mr. Boyd and Dr. Adams, and we also had Steve Wilson, which is our civil engineer, just went over a few things. And we do know that the construction signs were ordered, so there should be signs up hopefully by next week on both sites. So you
That's what
will see
Burwell said, that they should be next week.
8x4s, big signs with the new project coming on.
With the renderings that you all have seen.
Yes.
Or you all saw them.
And I guess David Crockett's done, the demo's done there now.
Yeah, so when we went to Crockett, there was a little bit of rubble left that still had to be hauled off, but it's down. It's all down. I mean, Boone's just a big mud hole today. That's good news. And Crockett is almost there. It's just, there's some rubble there and trucks were going back and forth when we were there hauling it off.
Did we get the different fillers put in the boom before the rain, or do you know?
Yeah, and there's going to be, of course, we got a contingency in here, which obviously is always good on a renovation project. The soils, they anticipate that the soils aren't going to be great at Crockett as well. So I think just, maybe that's not great news, but we should, I think, have the contingency to cover it. There's going to be some removal and engineered fill that's going to have to go there because, to support those.
And that'll be verified by geotech.
Yeah, and how that process works is the geotechnical engineer, they go and verify, quantify, so that, I mean, Burwell's been great to work with.
For full awareness, it is, it's been, the concern is that the soils are gonna be worse at Crockett. Just by preliminary kind of evaluation, so.
Yeah.
Be more unsuitable soil under those old bleachers at Crockett than there was.
And so far, the contingency seems to be able to take care of all the issues we have had so far.
Wonder what causes that, any idea?
Well, part of it is when they construct, there's, it was a little different 50 years ago, they're just throwing a lot of junk in there, too. That's part of it. So.
Are they going back with stone or are they going back with red dirt?
It'll be a combination, but mostly stone,
Slate or stone?
It'll just be 57 stone, yeah, crushed.
Just begin.
So what about the lighting at those areas? Do we know when that will be back up and running?
We had a conversation about that today. So Danny, when we were meeting first at Boone, he said like the first soccer game was March 16th.
We have like 20 days.
Baseball starts before soccer, don't it?
Yeah, we should be fine with the baseball.
They all start relatively close to each other.
But I thought the lights, turn them on and off. Is the power down there at the concession stand and stuff at baseball?
They know the timeline.
Yeah, at Crockett, those were moved. Philip Patrick wanted it moved over into the.
So they could work it.
Yeah. So that panel's been moved. Yes. Yeah. So.
You want me to sound?
Sweet, the first Boone soccer game is February 27th.
Okay.
So those are like one half of them's gonna be fine, right? And then
One half's gonna be fine, but the other half, we're still trying to figure contingencies and making the contractor aware that we need to have something, even if it's temporary, to be able to work for the spring sports, which was brought up in today's meeting.
Yeah. Everybody's aware of it. Everybody's aware that there's a balance of light. Danny said practices, because practices will end before it gets dark, that leading up to that, the practices aren't a problem.
I think also the weather has played into some of it on both sides because the fields that they're practicing on are just being squished. So because evidently soccer plays rain or shine, so they practice rain or shine.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm gonna be excited to see some go in. Looks bland right there.
Any word on the bleachers? Are they still pretty much on time?
They're in production. Yeah, and Todd Morris with Burwell said, he mentioned that today, that he had just talked to Reese down at Southern Bleacher. He said that they were in the queue and on schedule. So.
And he's scheduling a visit from Texas at some point to be able to come and visit the bleachers. So keep up
The
with it.
footers will be, they're the next step.
Yes.
Especially, in both places, but Boone is a little ahead, so.
Yeah.
The footers are the next big thing.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it is very exciting. And we also did a visit since we were here all day. We just went ahead and went to Lamar to do some more, taking some pictures, some more investigating, just to make sure how the fenestration was working and document all that so we can present it at a later time and make some decisions.
We went out there, Jake showed you all everything about the new siding and everything, but this was the conversation, and we went with Dr. Adam and Philip Patrick again just to look at, there's a lot of windows out there that the seals are broken, so we were just cataloging all of that, which it's a lot of them. So, and just, we made, what the discussion was is about putting that possibly as an alternate to the bid for the siding, and just, if we just put it as a standalone kind of alternate where we can get a good number on that, or we could just bid it separately, I mean, it's almost one, like I suggested, we could bid it to a glazing subcontractor. You avoid the general contractor's markup, because there's really no coordination. It's really just going in and replacing the 1-inch insulated glass units, inside the moldings. So the frames will stay, all the frames that are there, it's just the glass inside. Remove the frames, replace them.
And then the last item we had, just to touch base, was the culinary arts. I think the board was going to perhaps discuss what we were going to do bidding wise. If it was going to go out to bid, or have any decisions been made on that?
It's on,
Oh, it's on the agenda for today? Okay.
Yeah, but we can do it like we did the other, if you wanna. I know from the workshop, I think we determined where we're gonna get the money. So, if you wanna discuss and make a motion now, rather than wait, that's up to this board.
Yeah, what did the bid come back up to? Jennifer, can you?
We haven't bid it out yet.
We haven't bid it
Oh, I
out,
mean,
this is
what-
bid it out.
Yeah.
We just had to
Bring it
find-
back.
Drawings are ready to go, so we're just waiting on you guys to tell us.
It's item 982.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to bid out the culinary arts project.
Discussion.
Where would it be funded from? Could we
To
identify?
the innovative school model school grant. Yeah, we were able to utilize the grant funds to address the cost, the anticipated cost.
Right. Any more discussion? Let's vote, please, Jennifer.
We shut this agenda down.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else?
That's it?
If you all have any questions?
Just appreciate your time and effort.
We appreciate you
Coming to our meetings each month and updating us.
So Todd, how good you ate tonight or something? Make sure everybody.
Will do. Thank you, Mr. Ginger.
Yeah,
Thank
you all so much.
Appreciate
Safe
it.
trip
Thank
back.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next, if I can get a motion for approval of meeting minutes, please.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Let's vote, please, Jennifer. Thank you. All right, next, our announcements, Mr. Boyd.
They're listed there, but in the first one, there is a change. The county commission has scheduled the budget committee meeting to occur tomorrow. The HUE committee was today, so we will attend the budget committee tomorrow. We have one item that is the board's considering later in the agenda. And then just a reminder too, those of you that are registered for the legislative conference, the TSBA Legislative and Learning Conference in Franklin in February 12th and 13th. At the same time, or at least right after that, I'm involved in the National Superintendent's Conference. So I will not attend that legislative, board legislative and legal session. The superintendents have one later in March in Nashville. And then also just, I've been asked to be on a panel on the 12th in Murfreesboro, so I'll be driving to participate as a superintendent on that panel for the state coordinated school health coordinator conference, and then I'm coming home, and the next morning I'm leaving for the conference. So
Other end of the state, or other end of the country.
yeah, in San Diego, yes.
Bring some sunshine home with you.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice, certainly. But through the long-range forecast, people are probably getting excited or anxious about what they put out on social media about mid-February. It's interesting to me how they do that, but anyway. President's Day, of course, is a holiday, and no school, no students, no employees And then we have our board workshop on the 27th. That's on the calendar. And just as a reminder, the dates were set earlier for the graduation ceremonies. And just as a reminder, the routine, it's at ETSU in the mini dome, and we begin our Crockett graduation at 9, and the Daniel Boone. And we did discuss trying to compact that. The challenge is logistics, the traffic, and because we have other logistics as far as the other groups, whether it's security and others to manage. So still recommend that we kind of try to keep that same schedule with the 1 o'clock beginning for the Daniel Boone commencement ceremony. If we can move into superintendent's reports, just the highlight of it, the most exciting part will be Allie's presentation, so I'll turn it over to her.
Thank you so much.
While he's getting ready, again, congratulations for being salutatorian.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's honestly an honor, and I'm very excited to represent us on the stage this year. I'm pretty pumped. But this presentation is to kind of highlight some different areas of Boone over the last couple months, but really just kind of moving forward for the school year. But I'll go ahead and get started. So obviously, I've been a Boone student since I was a freshman, and my experience at Boone has been nothing but positive. I've loved being a student at Boone, and what I've been able to experience has allowed me to be involved in a lot of clubs. I'm a student athlete and a lot of academics, so I've been really, really excited to speak about Boone today ever since like August. So here's some fun pictures of my experience for Boone, especially this year. But now for the fun stuff. First, I'm going to discuss some points on academics happening at Boone this year. So Daniel Boone High School was graded by the Tennessee Department of Education as a B on the A through F scale, which is really high. There's some areas in which we were graded on, and academic growth and achievement have increased a lot this year. Not only just in numbers, but just being able to see that by each individual student. So academic opportunities that I would like to touch on. So AP classes such as the one in the top right corner, which is Mr. Googe's AP US History class, are very common and have become a really popular thing for students at Boone. And every student I've talked to, they've at least attempted an AP class, and that's really awesome to get to see those students achieving that. And then those 3 students you see there are OSHA certified in different things. Those are just examples. We have students get certified in so many things, such as in the medical field, and then, like I said, OSHA certifications. And then I also take part in dual enrollment classes. I know that we have students doing it through Milligan, ETSU, and the most common being Northeast State. And these are great opportunities for students that Boone is able to provide. And I know that I've enjoyed my time at Boone because of this. So our seniors this year have had outstanding GPAs. We just released our top 10%, as you can see listed. And their GPAs are very outstanding. And we are very, very proud of the senior class that I also get to be a part of. And I'm very excited for this year. Now to hit on my favorite part of Boone, which is all the clubs and extracurriculars that come with student life. So first I want to talk about debate and theater. As you can see, I'm the debate captain this year. But debate and theater both go to Thistle competitions and are planning to go to the state tournament in April, which is in Franklin, Tennessee, which is a really big achievement. We're also in theater working on some one-act plays, which I'm also cast in. So it's really exciting to see students kind of branch out in those competitions and things like that. And we actually have a competition in 2 days at Sullivan East High School. Key Club, which I am president of this year, is probably my favorite club at Boone. These students are actually active in community service and log over 100 hours every single month. We had 44 new inductees at our induction on Tuesday, with a total of 64 paid members this year, which is the most in Division 7 and the most Daniel Boone High School has ever had. And there's our officer team for you right there. But we've been really, really excited about this year, and I'm very, very proud of them. Next is Student Council. I'm a member of the Student Council, but these are some pictures from one of our biggest events last year. But Student Council's been working a lot on, I know we helped Boone's Creek help with their wardrobe and things like that, getting some clothes organized for them, but we just really like to take part in individual students and what they like to accomplish, especially with like social events, pep rallies, and dress-up days, things like that. But I know they've been dogging a lot of service hours this semester. Next is Beta and NHS. These are clubs that allow students to show their academics and kind of be proud of that and be a part of an organization that does participate in service. National Beta Club has participated in a canned food drive, as well as they the trunk or treat at Boone, and then we are getting ready to go to Read Across America and read in middle schools as we do every single year. And National Honor Society has been working, and they've also done some wardrobe donations, and I know that they've also had some homecoming representatives, so it's been really good both this year for both clubs. International Club and Multicultural Club. International Club is a group of any and all students wanting to be a member and achieve like cultural experience, and like we went to the hospital in December and donated medical dolls to the hospital there and for the children's hospital there. We made those, all the individual students made those, and it's been really great to be a member of the officer team of that club. They've done some great things this year. And the Multicultural Club is a group for students to kind of embrace their ethnicities and also showcase some of those. There's some fun little pictures from the trunk or treat and then one of their in-school meetings, and I know that they've been doing a lot of great things as far as their culture goes this year. FFA and Agriculture, I know they plan to go to the FFA National Convention in March, and it's been great getting to see them at competitions. I know President Allie Harrison has been working really hard this year, and she's been talking about how amazing FFA is, and I know that they are a great representation of Boone, especially through the competitions and things they've been also going to this year. FTA and Skills USA, Future Teachers of America kind of showcases what students want to do when they get older. I know there are several students teaching at Sulphur Springs Middle School right now, elementary school, with 3rd and 4th graders and actually getting hands-on experience in the classroom. And Skills USA is cosmetology and other things, opportunities for career paths. There they are. They had, I think that's Miss Tennessee, come and speak to them during school, and that was really great for them. So I know that they've been doing a lot of amazing things this year as well. HOSA and then FCCLA and DECA. HOSA has been also competing, I know, the past couple of years, and they've been doing some great things. I know they had several students get certified back in the fall in pharmacy tech and I think CMA, and that's an example from last year of a big group that they've got. And then FCCLA and DECA has allowed students to also explore career paths. Those group of students sitting at that table were actually planning a prom on a field trip for one of Miss Bristol and Miss Reynolds' classes, and then that's an example of some of our DECA students from last year. FCA and Bible are great religious opportunities for students at Boone to kind of express their faith and things like that. I know FCA meets in the mornings, and they also have meetings outside of school and social events. And the Bible Club's also been meeting with Mr. Gooch to kind of get in the Word, and they've been doing lessons as well. So it's been really good to see the things they're achieving this year. Reflections and Band. The DBHS Reflections actually has a couple students in a college honors choir called ACDA, which is really, really amazing because this is actually a college choir that some high schoolers were allowed to try out for, and we had a few students make it, which is really amazing. That's them at All East down there in the bottom, and that was a really great opportunity for them, and we have several students attending All State this year. The band has been performing at all of our sporting events, as well as I know we have a few students who are about to go to Symphony of the Mountains, which is a really big choir that some high school students are very lucky to be a part of, so it's been really great to see their achievements this year. One of the students is Anna Radorci. She's sitting in the front row of that picture in the middle, is going to be attending Symphony of the Mountains this year. Now to talk about athletics that have been going on specifically this spring and what we have coming up. Basketball, we've had a really great season so far. I know girls basketball is doing some amazing things, and like I said, our senior night is actually tomorrow night against Westridge. We had homecoming on Tuesday, and it's been a really great season for both sports, and we've loved getting to watch them and support them. Track just started their indoor season. They had a really successful cross-country season, but they just went and ran and also threw in Louisville, Kentucky this past weekend, and it was really great to see their achievements and kicking their season off right. Cheer, we have been supporting at all basketball games, and like I said, that's Alexa Justice flying at one of the basketball games this year, and like I said, that's a picture of our seniors for this year, and I know they're very excited to finish up their season and have been doing some great things at our basketball games. The Daniel Boone dance team has also been performing at every halftime at all of our basketball games, and I know that it's been a really great year for them, and this is like the highest members of the team they've had this year, so it's really been really great to see them, and they're very entertaining. So some sports we have coming up, we have baseball, softball, and soccer. Soccer season will kick off in February, and baseball and softball will be very close to that, and we're very excited to see what their records and what they're going to entail for us this year. So some student life things I would like to talk about. The Blazer Ball is happening next Saturday. Hopefully we'll sell enough tickets to be able to have it, but I know the students have been working very hard to plan it. This is kind of a Valentine's Day themed dance, and this has been very student planned and student led. It will be in our gym, and like I said, all grade levels are open. The main motivation behind having the Blazer Ball was because freshmen and sophomores can't attend prom. So this was a good way to kind of have a social event and a dance for all students to be able to attend and bring their friends and get all dressed up and have a good time. Can you go back, please? Oh my goodness. It doesn't want me to have that slide. Anyways, there we go. So Pep in our step, I would say Boone is one of the most spirited high schools I've ever seen, ever. The example of the picture in the middle is all of us going to a pep rally back in the fall. We have amazing social events that are pep rallies to support our sports teams, specifically for football, but we have some for basketball as well. We have other fun events like the Powder Puff, which I played in the fall, which was really, really fun and a really great way to get students involved. And then for almost every homecoming, musket bowl game, anything like that, we have dress-up days, and that's some members of our dance team dressing up for Jersey Day this past fall. So I love dress-up days. They're my favorite part. So it's really good to get students involved and excited about sports, even if they don't even know what's going on. Homecoming happened this past Tuesday. Homecoming is a great way to get students involved. They represent organizations such as club, sports, and then extracurricular activities. There is 2 of our court candidates walking on the basketball court on Tuesday. There's our exchange student Vic with one of her posters that she made, campaigning to run for homecoming queen. And then there's some of our guys all dressed up and excited to walk the court. The student section is something we've always taken pride in. That's an example of one of ours at a football game. However, the one on the left is of how our basketball games, we have the student section on the stage. There's so many students that come and support. And then that's an example of a post that we have on an Instagram where we encourage students to dress up and support all of our sports. It's been really great to see this year the spirit that comes with not only just being a senior, but being excited to be a member of the student section. New and improved things that I would also like to talk about. So some key to advising, we've had a student, parent, and teacher advisory board this year. They've helped to plan events such as we had an open house this spring, which is something new that we've never had before. And it was a chance for teachers to come in, meet with students, but also see some of the clubs and things we had going on this semester specifically, and not just at the start of the year. I know the student advisory board has worked hard on taking part in planning the Blazer Ball and social events like that. And I know the teacher advisory board is able to suggest things that they see in their classroom, and it's a really great way to get voices heard from all across the campus. The mobile healthcare and food pantry is a new thing that we're starting both at Boone and Crockett. Our Key Club as well has been able to take part in helping with the mobile food pantry and to kind of help with not only just the students, but the members of our community that might need help with both health and food needs. And it's a great way for us to be able to reach as many families and as many members of the community as possible. Freshman success. So this is an example of some students just from today in a 3rd period freshman success. This is a good way for students to not only get help with academics and to kind of learn more about future careers and where they would like to take their high school, but it's also sometimes a break for them after freshman year is hard. Coming from my experience as a freshman, and it's very difficult, and sometimes you just need that academic break, but also there's teachers there, such as Ms. Kurtosh, sitting there to help with those individual student needs and get that homework done, as well as learn about college opportunities and plan what they might want to do for their future. So it's been a really great success. I know we came and talked to you all about it, but just to touch on it, we had AMP this past fall, and I know that we are planning to do it again this year. I'm actually on the committee to plan AMP, and I'm so excited for what the students are in store for this year. But there's just some pictures and a refresher that it's been honestly really great, and we've seen positive effects with those students in the school. I see my kids all the time, and I'm like, hey, and I know that they've made friends just because of AMP and that experience of being able to get in the school. And it's also was great for us counselors to be able to bond, such as building some spaghetti towers. That was fun. So it's a really great opportunity for the students to connect as freshmen, and I think that's been one of the main goals of Boone, is getting those freshmen really integrated. And I know they've had a lot more positive experience this past year and a half. And here's some interviews I did over the past couple of days. So for students, I had them describe Boone in one word. I've heard one of my favorite ones was how inclusive, safe, and how friendly Boone is, but these are all individual students and how they feel about their experience at Boone, and it was really great to see the positive effects that Boone has had on them over the past couple of years. And then for teachers and staff, I asked them what their favorite part about Boone, whether it be teaching or being a staff member. I heard a lot of positives about the environment and the collaborations they have with teachers, but also how impactful the students can be, and getting them to grasp concepts brings each and every single person a lot of joy, especially being able to be a teacher at Boone. So thank you so much for having me here. I love being a board member. It's been great, but I also love Boone, and I love the positives we've got to be able to see this year. So thank you.
Good job.
Does anybody have any questions?
No questions. First of all, you did a fabulous job.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I've loved this opportunity, and I wanted to say thank you all for having me. It's amazing every single time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I think it's a perfect example that shows how a school is more than a single letter grade. I wish the community could see that presentation. Maybe the county commission will even show it at one of their meetings like they did the other time. That's the kind of stuff they need to see. The great stuff that's going on in Boone, and I'm sure Crockett as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I love being at Boone.
Great job. The next items are just for, report to the board, just monthly reports for public record in the minutes. From, as you can see, the monthly enrollment updates, which is something I do share, as you know, with the county commission each month when I send them some updates as well. In field trips, maintenance reports monthly. The financials from Mr. Hale, personnel from HR, grants and so on. We want to bring your attention to under other, and we've added just a report from Ms. Hugh, food service, monthly report, just so you can see the numbers of the meals being served each month. So we'll be adding that to these lists of reports for each month.
I wanted to ask real quick, has there been any type of enrollment changes? Or nothing really strikes out at you? I wondered if Jonesboro had any.
Well, I mean, we based on existing policy, that's going to be limited anyway.
It is, okay.
Yeah, and certainly there's some interest, but there's also a capacity issue.
That's what I wondered about too. Okay.
So we're following, as we can. There are individual exceptions that are considered, but for the most part, we're following policy. Mid-year transfers are limited.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Boyd. Next, if I can get a motion for consideration of consent agenda, please.
So
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Let's vote, please, Jennifer.
I'll agree.
Thank you. All right, next we go into our discussions and presentations, and of course the first one is our school bus. Mr. Boyd.
Yes, and just to preface this, it was on the HUE committee. Our timing is in a way that sometimes, well, most of the time, HUE occurs before, and we did receive from HUE approval to move on to the budget committee of utilization of up to $600,000 for purchase of buses. What's been presented to you in the bid tabulation are the bids as it was requested, broken out by diesel, and then also with the propane option. The reason that I requested from HUE to up to $600,000, if you'll notice, the maximum amount was $551,729 for 4 buses of propane. So that would be the maximum amount in any combination from these bids. So we recommend, as in the discussion, as we try to continue to rotate or differentiate our fleet, the recommendation from, operations, transportation department operations, and for myself is the purchase of the propane buses.
Mr. Flair.
Make a motion that we approve the Bluebird bid for I believe it says $551.79 for the 4 propane buses.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Any way that anybody would support buying 3 diesels and 2 propanes? Am I wasting my breath?
So my question is did we did order diesel buses last year, correct?
We've ordered some.
How many did we order last year?
3.
And are they here? Did they come in?
They're not here yet.
Any kind of delivery date?
They're saying June.
And who did we purchase those from?
Thomas. They're Thomas buses. We get them from Mid-South. There you go.
How many diesels do we have in our fleet total?
I'm ballparking that. Around 50.
And how many propanes do we have?
15. Since we sent 3 back. 15.
And one electric.
1 electric.
And then the smaller buses are gasoline.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion, amendment to Mr. Fleener's motion that we buy 3 diesels and 2 propanes.
We have a motion we have an amendment to the motion. Do I have a second?
I want to second it so we can discuss it.
Discussion.
My concern is while I'm looking at this bid is if we're gonna purchase from somebody and you purchase, I don't think the diesels should be purchased from Thomas if we're going to purchase diesel. That's what I'm trying to say.
One clarification I need to make to his amendment, we're getting 4.
Oh,
Not
4?
5.
Okay.
What do you want
I'll
to
go
do 2 and 2?
2 and 2.
Okay.
I'll make change that to 2 and 2.
You still second?
I'll still second it as well.
Well,
Any more?
sorry,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not that versed on either, so what are the advantages and disadvantages if somebody wants to throw out some information for us?
I can just give my personal opinion. I mean, it's neither here or there. It's the fact that right now, if we have to travel so far away, I don't feel like that our state is, I don't feel like the availability of propane at night is very common. I feel like we still need to have some of those diesels in our fleet. I know that diesels are becoming obsolete. I know it's getting harder to get parts and things like that. But until we can know for absolute certain that they can get propane 24 hours a day wherever we're sending our kids, we still need diesels in our fleet. That's just me. I feel like it's a safety issue for our kids if they're going to be traveling on buses long distance for competitions, or we just have kids going everywhere for so many things.
So your recommendation would be the 2 diesel, the Bluebird, and 2 propane Bluebird?
So
well,
that's
sorry.
the way I feel.
Okay.
But that's just me. That's not,
One clarification on your motion, you said 2 and 2.
Yeah,
Are you saying Mid-South or Central States?
I'll go with Central States.
You still second it?
as long as, yes.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Walters.
Is there any place that we can order buses from? And like I'm saying, I'm ignorant, this is not my wheelhouse, I'm asking the question. Is there any place we can buy whatever buses that will get them here and quit spending money on ones that ain't even here yet? Can we get them from somewhere else that we can get them here to where we can use them?
That's it.
These are
Or is that it?
those are the 2 major ones besides international.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna bring up international, we had a
So, I mean,
bad
these
show
are
with
just
them.
regional dealers of the same buses.
Yeah. Okay.
Those ones are May of 24.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get anything any quicker than that.
And we're supposed to get the ones we ordered last year this June, hopefully.
Yes.
And that was how many, Jared?
3.
3.
So we'll get these faster than we will the ones we ordered last year? Okay.
The 3 we replacing with the propanes that we sent back.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear the concern in regards to propane, but hearing the number of diesel versus propane, are we using propane buses? Don't we have enough diesel to be able to send the kids around the state that we don't have to worry about 24-hour propane?
Well, that's 75% of the fleet's diesel.
Right.
And I think that was kind of our thought last year, is put some newer diesels in for that purpose. But again, we haven't received them, so.
And we're buying My motion is to buy 2 and 2.
One thing I do want to ask Jared, I lost my train of thought, as usual. The grant on the propane, do you have a number on it yet?
We don't have a number on it yet because the delay across the state of getting last year's buses has delayed them paying out from the grant for last year to help them figure out how much money they need to allocate for this year.
How much was it last year on the propane, do you remember?
I think, was it $9,000 a bus?
Is that, Brad, do you remember, is that right?
I would rather look at it than guess. I mean, that number sounds.
That's, I was gonna say, it
familiar,
sounds
but yeah.
pretty,
But
so
to give you-
27,000 on the 3.
Right.
And if we approve the propane tonight, that still will go into effect when we get them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion on the amendment?
Maybe you can explain it. The first one,
First one was to purchase the 4 propane buses.
so that's what we're voting on? No.
Keith
That's
made the
what-
I
amendment.
made the amendment.
To buy
Okay,
2
the
and 2.
amendment is what,
Two and
okay.
And he's saying buy 2 from Central States and 2 from
From Central
States 2 on the diesels. That's the amendment. So we're voting on the 2 and 2.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
No.
Let's vote, Jennifer, please.
On the amendment.
On the amendment, this is on the amendment. Okay, now if it carries, then we won't vote on the original amendment, right?
Now you're voting on.
Becomes the
as
motion.
amended.
Okay, yes.
As the approved
Right.
amendment.
Then we're gonna vote on the amendment, the approved amendment.
So this
As
is,
amended.
I need you
The
to
motion
tell
as
me,
amended.
and you're gonna have to read it to me then, Jennifer. I'm sorry, I'm all mixed up.
It's to
Okay.
award
Yes.
bid is what you're doing, the Central State.
This is just what Keith had suggested.
Yes,
All right,
purchase
thank
4
you.
buses, 2 diesels and 2 propane.
Thank you. I can read it. I see that now. You didn't have to read it, but I appreciate it.
Motion as amended, Vince.
Carries with 3 noes.
Okay,
Thank you.
next is the security grades at Silver Spring School, which we've done covered.
Yes, sir.
Sale and removal of the house located on the grade. I will say I had a friend reach out to me this past week and is very interested in it, but he needs a couple more weeks to figure out who he can get to move it and the pricing,
Can
so
we put it off until the workshop?
that's, I just wanna throw it out, cause I got it too late to take it off the agenda, so.
I would like to make that motion that we continue in discussion till the workshop.
I'll second.
Any more? We got a
I'd like
motion
to see us
second.
get the bids and at least see what it costs to tear it down, and then if this comes through, it doesn't stretch us out another 30 days. That's what I was gonna recommend, is go ahead and send it out for bid for demo, and if Mike's buddy come through, then we didn't have to.
Can we do both, or we have to
Yeah.
both say, yeah.
I think we can.
Well, if you don't vote, you gotta take your motion
Well,
back
we
and
can
postpone.
we can solicit bids for demolition and removal.
Does that cost money?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least come up with.
That'll give us an
find
idea
out
what
how
it's
much
gonna cost to demo it.
Bidding it
You
out.
but not bids.
To bid it out.
He's-
The bid
That's
does
what
not
I'm-
cost money, no.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no,
not
It would
sure.
cost money to bid it
Okay.
out. It would cost money if we accepted one to bid.
Well, then I'll change it to include both. Does that make sense? We'll
You
ever
wanna-
come up with some-
Well,
Can we just kick it back to the workshop?
So you're gonna wait 30 more days before you get a bid in?
what does it matter, Chad? I mean, we don't need the property right now. It's no big pushing issue. If it was a big pushing issue, it'd be a different story.
It's a liability.
Is fire and water
Everything's
still on?
liability.
You know,
Yeah, we have to maintain it at minimal level just so, we don't have other issues.
Now, I wanna ask this.
okay.
I was checking on some things that, and I know our attorney said we don't need to be in the rental business, but I was speaking to some people that we don't do nothing. We don't collect no money, they send us a check. Is that something that we could do?
For rental of it?
Rental that house, we don't touch it, we don't maintain it, they take care of everything, they get a percentage. Whitney, do you know anything about that kind of a business?
Well, you have rental agents that do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's property management.
Yeah, it's property management.
But it's, we don't touch it.
You have to take
I mean,
RFP.
I
You still have to have the liability and have the ownership
Yeah.
and insurance.
Plus,
on
we'll
it.
have to put an RFP out on that, because we just can't give one person, you know, that, but, you know, us as a board can't give it to one person.
I cannot support we doing what we're fixing to do. This is $450,000 and then fixing to tear it down and pay to get it tore down. People, Lord mercy, I mean.
But our use for the land is totally different from what it used to be.
But we're
I
not
mean,
using it. We're not gonna need to use it.
we
That's
need to
my
prepare to
argument.
use it.
I'm just, it just,
My opinion, future, I mean, it was, to me, it's well worth it, just for the future of Gray Elementary and the future of the area that's in the
well,
growth area right now.
and, you know, 5 years, if we need to add on to that school, then yeah, but I don't know, I just can't, it just makes me sick to know that we paid $450,000, now we're gonna pay to get it tore down.
Ms. Walters?
How much are we paying monthly in utilities?
That's what I was on, you know, roughly, Brad, what utilities?
I can probably find out in the morning, I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I can't imagine it's a tremendous amount of all we're paying for utilities.
Well, if the water is still on well, we're not paying nothing for it, for water.
It would just be power and.
Power and insurance.
If it's whatever it affected our, you know, umbrella insurance policy, which I can't imagine it's, you know, significant.
Right.
But certainly I can find out.
I guess he'd set on what, Jared, 50, 55, something like that?
I think we have it set on 60.
If I'm not mistaken, and I may be totally out of line here, but Gray Fire Department will burn the sucker down in a controlled environment. If that's what you want. Now, I'm not speaking for Gray Fire Department. I just know in the past, they've used houses and things that were gonna be tore down or whatever as training.
Yep.
They'll actually sign a where they're not gonna sue you if they get hurt and all that stuff, I guess hold harmless form. But they will train in it, which is one great aspect, that they're training to upgrade their experiences. And then it's a double-edged thing to where it gets rid of the house for us. Yes, there may be a basement. I don't know, I haven't looked at the house, but you burn it down, you've got a basement, you know, you may hire somebody to push dirt in the basement, problem solved. That may be something that we would want to check on. It's just an idea.
Well, my only thought, it's brick. So.
That might be a problem.
You're gonna still have the.
That might be a problem.
You know,
Yeah.
if it was a stick house, I could.
I understand that. Okay, there's my idea.
Think outside the box, I appreciate that.
We do, actually. Yeah, but you might, the sheriff's department's explosives unit might make it holy, but it's not gonna bring it down.
We're right beside the school too, so.
Yeah.
Adjacent to the school.
You could have a field trip or something like that.
Mr. Riddle?
I would like to see us move forward with Chad's suggestion personally. I mean, we can go two different directions at once, and it costs nothing to bid it out. And then we.
And that gives us more of an idea of.
In the essence of time, it doesn't cost me anything to do that, and then we can move forward with two different directions on it. And
Gives us
hopefully we'll come
options.
up with one that's gonna work for us. And in my opinion, we bought the property for the value of the property, not the house. And I know you're gonna tear a house down, but we're not gonna use the house. So for the future of our system, it's better to go ahead and prepare the property, get it ready. When we have a use, we're ready to go. And we'll have it paid for and done and ready, and we'll
When that
move
time
forward.
comes.
Yeah.
Jerry, is that something you could get out for us? Was the bid for demo?
Yeah.
Do we need to set criteria on that as far as, I know it's got a basement, so I think everything's gotta be hauled off. It can't be, basement can't be filled with the remains.
Right.
You know,
who can check with the Gray Fire Department to see if that's of interest.
We still have to haul it off though.
Right. Which would be less than the whole project if tearing it down.
And, Mr. Boyd said we probably don't need a motion for this if everybody's in agreement. Just,
Well, if you want to burn it down, you can take the brick and fill in the basement with the brick instead of having
no, you
somebody.
won't be able to if we build there, because, you have to take it all out, get your footers in. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not a, builder, but.
Well, that's something when we look into it, we
Right.
need to know all the.
But I think that's something you need to stipulate that, you can't fill the basement in with remains. It's gotta be put back with dirt and put back on grade. So. Okay, let's move on. West Virginia, we do that one.
Table or postpone it.
Postpone it. Do you want to withdraw your motion?
I do.
You withdraw your second.
It's you, isn't it?
Who seconded
That was.
I will withdraw it.
that?
Withdraw.
Okay.
So if we want to move forward with the bid process, do we need to make a motion to do
No,
that?
Mr. Boyd said we did not.
We'll go ahead and prepare and solicit. It's got to come back to the board anyway.
So we hopefully may have back by the workshop. If not, we'll address it next meeting or something.
Do the discussion, I think we have guidance, clear guidance.
Okay, Westview Elementary floor structure.
Dr. Adams?
We met with Steve Wilson today at Daniel Boone to talk about the Daniel Boone project, David Crocker project. We talked about the Westview project. And the more we got into talking about how we were going to do what we wanted to do, he's going to redraw up those plans to try to help us save money. Long story short, what we're planning on doing is going in, taking the bathrooms out of those two classrooms, and we're going to pour footers, and we're going to reinforce those footers with more metal coming up, put a crossbar that's going to hold those joists up in those areas. Save us a substantial amount of money. Do the same thing for the bathroom, the gang bathrooms on the left side of the office if you're facing it, and then keep the same plan for cleaning and reinforcing the floor joists under the kitchen. And as bad as we thought it was when we first looked at it, it's not as immediate that we have to do it. So that's something he can get it to us, the plan, how we're going to do it, and then maintenance will take care of it. And we hope to have that project done, voted on, and done by the end of summer. That's the game plan.
So these two bathrooms, they're just the ones that, there's just one bathroom in each of
There's
those places?
one toilet and a sink in
And
each
they have
one,
others
and they have
close by.
access to gang bathrooms right down the hall. We'll just turn them into storage closets for those teachers.
What grades are those?
I think it's third grade. I'd have to check.
Yeah.
It's either
Yeah, they're fine without.
It's in that grade level.
It's down that hallway.
Down the lower grades.
Okay.
So those numbers and everything, don't worry about them right now.
Don't worry about it.
Good deal.
Yeah, I think we can do it. It's going to be work on our guys' part, but we can do it cheaper than hiring somebody. It's just literally finding the time to do it. But we'll make it happen.
And, and emphasizing the good news, originally when the issue was brought to our attention, I mean, this is appearing to be fractions of what we feared it would be. So,
That's good news.
good news.
Very good news, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I'll just stay up here.
Okay, yeah, the next is the circulation desk at Lamar.
Reached out, I know Mr. Boyd done a little bit of research on his own, and I've looked at a couple places. We actually managed to get Tennessee Office Supply to come out, and they looked at it. They didn't really have the opportunity to sit down with the librarians and see exactly what they needed, so they basically went in and looked at what they had and just recreated that. But they left off some things, and a couple things were not the same item. I didn't have a chance to get it on here because I'm back there analyzing it right now if we're going to compare apples to apples. forthcoming, that, you know, their bid was about $10,000 for the entire thing, but they left off a cart that's a accordion type cart that as you put library books in it, it goes down and it stays up so you can put it, and they didn't leave that, they didn't put that on there. There's some finishes on the edges of the thing, they didn't put that on there. They quoted a different type of corner than what the librarians had asked for. They want a corner where you can reach through on both sides and to go around to get stuff, and they didn't quote that all the way. So you can see a little bit of what's on there right now. So
is this quote just what we've got now?
Say it again.
Is this quote?
This is the quote from Tennessee Office Supply, and then you also have the quote from Inspire. Inspire's $24,000 some. This one's just right under $10,000. But between the stuff that they left off and the stuff that we needed, it's about a $5,000 difference if we add in the stuff and get exactly what they wanted. And the biggest difference really, besides the cart, which is about $3,200 from Inspire, is they didn't charge anything for delivery and installation. So my advice or my ask would be to go back to Tennessee Office Supply and get them to come and do a more thorough look at this circulation desk so they can get what, you know, I don't mean this house, I don't care what kind of desk they get, but, you know, if we're going to get them, I'd rather them get what they want. So let them draw it up, map it out, and get all the items they want, so we're comparing apples to apples, and then come back and do it.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I want to compare both of them as the same.
Right.
Can you bring them both back by the workshop in?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll call Mr. Jordan and get that taken care of.
Mr. Walters.
Is Tennessee Office Supply, is it local?
It is.
It's one of our Lafayette Cox, huh?
Yeah, it is. Jim Jordan, we do business with him all the time. We've done a lot of work with him in the past.
What I'm hearing is additional information at the next workshop. And no action requested on this item tonight.
No, that's a lot of money to.
I was shocked at the difference, but then when I started looking, like I said, some of it's not the same item.
Let's just make sure, and then maybe the same as it was before.
Now, are they on buy board also?
They're on the TIPS purchasing co-op. We're a member of that.
And are there more companies like this on there?
Well, I'm sure there are. Okay. I mean, I know we've done business with Inspire. We've done business with Tennessee Office Supply. We did some business with with another group. I'm not going to name them, but we were not really satisfied with their product or their service.
Are there more local, I guess, businesses like this that are on that co-op that we could maybe reach out to?
Probably. I'd have to look at it and just research it. And to get on those purchasing co-ops, they go into a giant bidding process, and that's how they get on there. So some companies don't take the time to do that. So, but I can research it.
Are there any more businesses out there that's not on the co-op that does this, that we get them to bid on too?
There's a Preston group that does some casework. They did the casework at the new Jonesboro, that Burwell used those. I can reach out to them if that's what you all want. Again, it's not pressing. It's not like it's duct taped together. It just needs to be replaced. So, you know, we can go in, do more, get more quotes and do all that. Just time consuming to get those people to come out there.
I understand it's time consuming, and I thank you for your work.
No, I'm just saying I'll do it. I don't know if I can get everybody to have something at the next board workshop, but I'll try my best.
Right. With the money that we're losing, that we've lost, I just feel like it's, number one, it starts with me, to be more frugal. I want them to have what they want, but I want to get the best deal, the biggest bang for the buck. Because what we save, we can use on something else.
Exactly.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Item 10F.
So for the stage curtain quotes, Mr. Hale's been very instrumental in helping us satisfy the auditors and making sure that we meet the criteria to piggyback off of the Nashville quote. The issue is, for us, we keep getting more asks and we keep presenting more information. The last thing they want is a detailed list for what you get for each curtain, but each curtain by definition is almost always custom made.
So they've quoted them a price and a service, but a stage curtain you get for an elementary school in Nashville may not be the price of a stage curtain we need at Ridgeview, because they're all custom made depending on what your infrastructure is, what the length is, what the height is, and all that stuff. So Michelle Stallard's been helping me communicate with the company, and basically the next thing they can give us is like a catalog where you can say, hey, here's some curtains, and you know, if you buy this size, this shape, and all that, and this color, here's what's going to cost. So you know, we can try to go that way, or we can just bid it out. You know, my preference was to piggyback off this grant, off this other bid, which people do all the time, but it's become very, very cumbersome to just try to get some stage curtains. And if we'd have bid it back in October, we'd have stage curtains by now. So
what's your recommendation?
My recommendation would be to see this last item, and if whomever these auditors are, if that still doesn't tickle their fancy, we'll just bid it out. It's just, again, more time consuming, because these people are about one of the only stage curtain people around. There's not a lot of people do that, but we'll find them.
Well, looks to me like that we don't know what size that curtain is that people in Nashville's ordering. I don't see why we just don't go ahead and bid out our own curtains and see what happens, because it shouldn't be that much more in Nashville unless we're getting.
Well, and that's what the auditors have asked, to make sure that we're getting the same price as Nashville. Now the prices up there, they've come out and measured our curtains, so that's what they're going to charge us for our stage curtains.
How was that gonna be paid for besides the insurance gonna cover the one for Ridgeview, the other ones?
That $109,000 of insurance money, this is part of that we got back.
Are these the original Crockett and Boone? Yeah.
Yes.
We believe so.
We could fundraise and sell a piece for every graduate or something if they want to buy some.
Some of us have been around for 50 years.
Does Ridgeview have curtains now, or
we're still waiting?
I was thinking we got them replaced when the school was renovated.
Fundraiser? I don't know.
So if we were to approve this tonight, really we couldn't because of the auditor, correct?
That's my understanding, is they might have an issue with us piggybacking off of the bid for Nashville. We know we have bid documents, we have the prices, we have the contract. The only thing we really don't have is an actual bid tabulation or a copy of the ad that Nashville placed in whatever the Nashville paper is, and a breakdown of the individual costs for each curtain that I guess Nashville bought.
So we can't do anything.
So could we make a motion, would it be proper just to go ahead and bid these out like he said, and include these folks in our bid? And
I think you can. I mean, of course, the board can do whatever you see deemed
that would
appropriate.
probably be the best thing to
We
say.
bid, I mean, you know, just as a statement, we always want to work very closely and be attentive to the questions and the guidance from our auditors. But there's different guidance across the whole state of Tennessee from different auditors.
So you suggest.
But in this case, if we work with these auditors, if they're concerned, then the best way absolutely is to proceed with bidding them out.
I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with bids on the 3 sets of curtains.
Second. Discussion.
All right, second.
It is,
Let's
isn't
vote,
it?
please.
You've been dealing with these curtains for 3 years now. I'm starting on the curtains. I'm ready to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I guess, Jared, you're still up on the septic system at South Central.
We're still waiting to get back with TDEC. Steve Wilson again, our civil engineer, structural engineer. He's been working with them. It's literally getting somebody scheduled to come out and look at it. So as soon as we get that scheduled, we'll get them out and try to get a report together to present to you what the issues are and what the potential fixes are.
But there is, I mean, like right now we have a
we're using a secondary septic tank that we are pumping, I think, weekly.
Did they say that the pipe is collapsed at the, coming out of the school? Is that what it is?
They're not 100% for sure. When they sent the camera down, it went through the pipe out of the school. When it got outside of the school, it ran into dirt.
Before it got to the tank?
Before it got to the tank.
Well, now that's just nothing but a fix right there. I mean,
What they're afraid of is from what I understand, is the field lines have dried and that they think there may be an issue with the septic tank not actually being big enough for the school. That was my secondhand information, what the guy who came to fix it the first time told Philip, who told me. And again, he's a pump, he pumps them, works on them a little bit, but he doesn't do all that engineering type work.
So is this a situation where we need to get through the school year before we start messing with it?
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're trying to
So
do.
we're just trying to get through the school year before we start.
Exactly. I don't want you getting phone calls about house.
Yeah, we're just monitoring.
Too late, I guess, right?
Yeah.
that's a sticky situation.
Just monitoring it closely.
Yeah, we're monitoring closely. I mean, for what we're doing, we're fine. There's no smell, there's no backup. The little septic tank's working, but again, we're pumping it every week. And we want somebody to come out and tell us, because once we start dealing in the ground and with septic, we have to have TDEC come out and tell us. And I guess we're trying to prep everybody. It could be worst case where we gotta dig the whole thing up and replace it all. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it is just, reattach new pipe or something like that. Let's hope so, but
We will have that figured out here next month or whatever.
I hope so.
Okay.
As soon as TDEC gets out there, shouldn't take them long to figure it out. And that way, getting them out there, they can also help us. If we have to replace everything, they'll engineer it, tell us how long the field bed has to be, what size septic tank we need, all that stuff. Yeah.
Good job.
Jared, thank you for your work on that.
You're welcome, thank y'all.
All right, Mr. Boyd, we got 2 purchase orders, please.
Yes, the purchase order is for partnership with Education Elements to work with our social studies and science teachers in developing personalized learning strategies. It's training our teachers, working with teachers to develop them to be trainers of other teachers. And this is using ESSER $3.
So we got 2 purchase orders. You want to group them or take them individual?
Group them.
2 purchase orders.
Yeah.
They're Rubus switches.
Oh, I was taking each item separately, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at 10H. Because it's such a large amount of money, I would recommend that you consider that individually.
Okay. We have a motion?
Make a motion, 35-411 purchase order. Be written for $233,763.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Let's vote, Jennifer, please.
I'll agree.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Boyd?
Yes, sir. The next item is a technology purchase. As you can see from the purchase order, these are just switches, things that are in our closet to manage our networks. Recommended for purchase.
Mr. Planner?
Make a motion, we approve purchase order 1713 for the total of $15,120.90.
A second. Discussion? Let's vote, Jennifer.
Typen.
Thank you.
I'll agree.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Boyd, some overnight trip request.
Yes, of course, the board has to approve overnight, whether it's in-state or out-of-state. Some of these are later in the school year or in this semester, but some have just recently developed because of competitions. But you see South Central, their annual trip, and this was to Charleston, South Carolina. You see David Crockett High School, FCCLA, the Leadership Conference in Gatlinburg in March. Daniel Boone FFA, the State Convention in March. And you also see FFA going to Nashville to meet the legislators and attend a session in February. David Crockett High School Band, All East Clinic in Gatlinburg in February, and then David Crockett High School, the NJRTC just qualified for the championships in Alabama,
I'll make a motion.
February 15th.
I'll make a motion, we approve all of these.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
So I know the soccer team from Crockett is going out, and it's not on here. Is it?
Well, that would be because they possibly didn't turn in their paperwork.
Okay.
So they're responsible for doing that.
Okay.
It's specifically A or 10J, 1 through 5 is what.
That's what we have so far. We have not received those requests. Now, if it comes in between, what typically happens, I'm not gonna penalize them and not be able to attend, is that if they meet all the necessary requirements. But, you know, I will go ahead and approve with pending board approval.
Okay, so is there like
They can attend there.
is there a cutoff date for for these?
Well, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, I don't know how these.
It needs to get to us before the board meeting, yes, ma'am. And we advertise the board agenda deadline.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Let's vote, Jennifer, please. Thank you. And then last is establish a meeting date for FY '25 budget. I guess my suggestion is, I don't know if you wanted to throw it in on the workshop of the 27th or a different date. I did talk to Mr. Hill earlier, and he would like to keep it as late as we can in February so he can have more, hopefully more numbers and more information for us. But he won't get TISA numbers until mid-March. Is that correct, Brad, you said?
Usually, unless Mr. Boyd's heard differently, it's typically around that 23rd, 20th of March or something until we get DT data. Have you heard any different on TISA?
They're still following that timeline. We can expect in mid-March. There was a statement that we should receive something in February, and we could possibly receive it in February, but I feel more confident about the March routine.
But we figured in February we could kind of give him, Mr. Boyd, our wants or our thoughts on the budget and go from there.
I would, you know, I've received two items from a board member. If you have specific things, you know, send it to me. I'll make sure then it's pulled together and then shared with all board members of what I've received from each board member specifically.
Does everybody want to do it the workshop date or a different date?
No, I'd like to see it a different date. We get so involved in the other meetings, 3-hour meetings, and then we tack a budget onto that as well. I'd like to see separate meetings.
Whatever the board wants, don't matter to me.
So you wanna have it before or after the workshop?
Well, our board meeting in March will be on the 7th. Could we have it on the 5th? Before the 5th of March?
That Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's election day.
It is election day.
Yeah, March 5th, election day.
Well, what about the 12th?
29.
May I recommend we take advantage of the extra day in February and do it on 29th?
Oh,
yeah.
That is.
Okay.
What about that?
Just
Yeah.
literally said that. Like 29.
That's why we got Mr. Boyd here.
Well, Ms. Buchanan said it first.
Oh, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
I leave for that.
Is February 29th good for everybody for a budget? 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Good, everybody?
5.
5:15 works better for me, but.
How about we do it 5:07, how's that?
There you go.
What is the,
We'll shoot them on TV.
what is the,
29th's on a Thursday.
well, I'm asking another question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just seen this calendar here. What's the county commission's plan? What is on their county, this is county budget at 9 o'clock?
They're following their process. We certainly are part of that. They're gonna run their own process. Our deadline is to get them a board approved budget by May 1st.
Well, are they,
But they have a budget committee meeting every month. That's probably gonna be routine.
That's just our scheduled meeting.
Yes, sir.
well,
We won't engage with the commission until later in the spring.
all right, that was fun.
And then just for awareness too, you know, on the 29th, I think that's great timing. But as far as our timeline that the board has approved, you know, we will have completed all the school conversations as far as them presenting their request. And then we'll be at the departments reviewing and considering. And we'll still be in the process of pulling those together at that time. But we'll still have a lot of data by that time for that meeting.
Is there a list of things that we going to lose because of ESSER funding or short-term funding?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to share them with us, or you may have this last time?
Yeah, we have several. I mean, you know, that's been on the radar, but you know, we've just had conversations other than that. That we know as we're looking at budget from the district team perspective. I mean, those items will have to be very clearly. Are we going to prioritize and remove other things, which is an option? Or are we going to just end those services that were paid for out of ESSER 3?
And we will know already how much the additional salary increase will be for educators too.
And by the 29th, we should have,
know.
Brad should be able to get a good
Pretty good
estimate.
idea.
Good strong. And the way we're gonna do the budget, yeah, I think by that time we'll have a really good idea of the baseline of salaries moving up to the next year. And then we can then take from there. If the board does, you know, a percentage, a certain amount of increase, that's an easy calculation.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, so remember, we are looking closely at that basically 15–18% of our budget. But 82 to 85% of our budget is tied in salaries and compensation. So there's really a little, I mean, that 15 or so percent is really where most of the movement outside of things that, you know, at this time we have a need. We don't have a conversation about reducing positions.
I think everybody knows their calendar. Appreciate Jennifer doing that for us. That gives us a good time frame for what's upcoming. Of course, remember the 27th is our workshop, 29th is our budget, and our next monthly meeting is March 7th. And Ms. Ivy, we really appreciate you coming, and it's a great presentation tonight.
Thank you.